Hello, everyone, and welcome back to These Guys Again, the film podcast, where once a week we gather around this table to discuss film news, previews, do some reviews, and pull up some pews and get close and talk about a real in-depth hot topic. Hot topic.
Great intro, Craig.
I know. I actually said to Irv you would cringe a lot when I did the intro, and it actually says here in my notes, Mark will cringe. I am Craig. Hosting our audio is Irvin.
Who's not Craig.
That's good. Good start. Back with us, now with the land of the living, is Tom.
God save the Queen.
He is the most English of us all. And, of course, Mark.
Hello.
Who joined us for the first time last time, which was our first episode.
Good save.
Where can I find this podcast? Excellent question, Mark. You can download the podcast every Wednesday night in the UK time zone. It says, ask Mark, what is the UK time zone? On YouTube and
Bandcamp eventually.
That's good.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. We're currently putting that together. And if you want something other than those hot James Blunt tracks to listen to. So, Mark, what is the news? Give it to us. But that doesn't matter. First, as always, we appreciate any input from listeners that they have on any of our subjects that we discuss, or even the podcast itself. So feel free to get involved in the comments section that we read, because we read whatever is posted, no matter how scathing it may be. Now, Mark, you had the news.
Well, first thing I noticed was, last week Zack Snyder put out a little press release on Batman vs. Superman because he's getting a lot of flack that with the reveal of Doomsday that there's nothing to get excited about.
And we don't have enough superhero news right now.
But he was saying that the Doomsday reveal is important for the plot of the film, but it's only the beginning of what our heroes will face. Does that mean it's in danger of becoming overcrowded? I mean...
What do you mean it's in danger of being overcrowded? The cast list alone shows you it's in danger of being overcrowded.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as I can tell, Aquaman's barely in it.
Because we have the cyborgs in it, Wonder Woman. You've got the general Batman, Superman
references to the Flash.
Yeah. Well, that's so far you have, if you count whoever it falls on, you've essentially got three forms of antagonists then, because there will be Batman versus Superman, which is obviously the title conflict. Then you've got Lex Luthor, who's going to be behind it all to an extent, and then Doomsday. What else is there?
Well, exactly.
Toy Man? Calendar Man?
Bizarro.
It's May. What else?
What one is Evil Alfred? That'd be great.
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
He's got it down.
He looks more...
I told you not to fight him, I did.
I don't know what else it needs, to be honest.
Neither do I.
Rather
to
than
be honest,
Doomsday, though.
To be honest, it's got me more worried than having the reveal of Doomsday. So, I mean, it does look good. It's being established well, but I don't know where it's going. Obviously, they're just trying to get to the Justice League as fast as possible to catch up with Marvel. And you can compare it to the Avengers. The Avengers was overcrowded, but it was handled very well. So I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to be.
They don't need to catch up. It's not like the money's going. We need to get it quicker than ever.
Well, no,
it's just
they need the money now, though.
Yeah, I guess. But the they would have avoided this if they just didn't show Doomsday. Like, again, it's the same thing with
Yeah, they just cut the roar. It'd be like, ooh.
Yeah, we've been shown what could
I bet
be
that's Cheetah.
It's essentially a third act twist again.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about Terminator a while back, and it was the same thing.
It's not even a third act real twist, though, is it? It's just...
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's we're given too much
we live in a movie world now where we have 3-4 trailers for a film. It's ridiculous. And like...
Not always handled as well as Star Wars.
So they bring a trailer out first of all for people who watch films, and they bring out a trailer for everybody else to entice people. And what people want to be enticed by is like the Marvel movies have had these massive villains, and huge amount of people don't understand why Batman is fighting Superman. So they've obviously put Doomsday in there to be like, wait, there is a big villain in it.
That's an interesting point, actually.
There is a villain. Because I know so many people who love comic book movies now and love all that sort of stuff, and they're like, why is Batman fighting Superman?
They're super bros.
Superman would kill Batman. It's like, that's not what it's about. So I think
that is a very good point.
By showing there's this massive villain in it, people are like, oh, this is like, I know this is like Marvel.
But even then, it's not a feature part of it's like, it's shown in loads of flashy scenes at the end of it where you don't you see their conflict, and then there's just this point at the end, and then you see them all standing together after
as
you've seen
Wonder
all
Woman
that.
shows up,
So because
yeah.
it's shown very out of order and out of context, I don't feel you can pull that from the trailer.
Pull what?
Like, as in, he is a villain that you see, but he's shown in so many little flashes all over the place before they're even standing together. Because it's an odd way to order it.
Oh, it is an
Make
odd-
it
it is
feel
an
like they're pulling together to fight this threat.
It is an odd way to order it, but I still think that's kind of what they're going for, because
At the same time, it's
I-
really
I-
recognizable.
I completely agree, though, because I've been thinking of it from my point of view, really going, like, I didn't want to know what was coming, but for the general public who aren't well versed in comic book lore, like Tom was saying.
Robin's costume's in it. He's going to be in it. Yeah.
So
Thank God we have Fungus Man to fight.
okay, yeah, so I can see what they've done it, but it still has me worried with what Zack Snyder's saying.
No, exactly.
But anyway, moving on.
Beautiful segue.
He's nailed it.
Quite interestingly,
Can I just say one thing? Does no one else think that Doomsday looks like, in that trailer, like the sort of forgotten Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, slash Abomination. Slash.
Yeah.
He looks like the turtle that Splinter
doesn't look like
abandoned.
he doesn't look like Doomsday. Yeah.
He definitely doesn't.
but they're saying that he evolves throughout the conflict.
No,
Yeah.
so he could have the spikes and stuff. He might just have one horn.
Yeah.
But couldn't they have just done it the way Deadpool's done it? Is we're seeing more marketing in other ways than we're just seeing than just the trailers. And I quite like that it's just it's this.
But there
all
is
these
a
different
huge marketing thing like Batman Superman a wee bit.
but you know what I mean. Like, as in that's what everyone's talking about a
Yeah.
lot right now, which is quite an interesting way.
But you can't
yeah.
really cut like Superman to hip hop.
check on my laser vision. No, it'd be a dubstep if anything.
Yeah.
But Mark, you were saying.
Yeah, just another thing I found interesting last week when the New York Post reported that George Miller would not be returning to the Mad Max universe, plagued with production problems and difficulty of filming in Australia. They quoted him as saying he was done. And then, interestingly enough, following the Oscar nominations, sort of midweek, I think it was later that afternoon, take that as you will, George Miller put out a press release saying that he was misquoted and that's not what he said at all. He'll be returning to do at least 2 more Mad Max films. He's got ideas for 2 more. They're just not necessarily going to be his next film.
Yeah.
Are we happy about that?
Yeah, I'm glad he said specifically Mad Max, like he was returning to Mad Max and they were Mad Max stories, because to be honest, there was a lot of talk about Furiosa spin-offs, and I thought she was a very good character. But I thought her story told. I don't want it to be like Captain Jack Sparrow is going to go on an adventure with Orlando Bloom again again.
To be fair, though, he did say the Mad Max universe, so that could mean Furiosa. That doesn't necessarily mean Max.
But like showing up, but not just being like.
I like the idea of each one's a different story. I know she was a very important character, but they can build another character. That's what I mean. Like and Mad Max works as kind of a gateway into a universe, and then they just have you tell these other characters' stories as a one-off arc in that film.
Yeah.
I think that works. But no, why wouldn't he? He gets awards. He gets money. Goes to Australia for a holiday. Like,
To be fair, who would direct Mad Max if he didn't do it?
Oh yeah, no, exactly. It wouldn't work.
Who would?
Justin Lin.
Well, it would be either Michael Bay or Justin Lin, wouldn't it?
Ooh.
Yeah. Can you imagine if those two got together and made a movie together?
God.
Let's make a film with real substance. Good one. What's going to be the first fight? What's going to be the explosion?
Michael Bay's doing a war movie now, isn't he?
It's actually, supposedly, it's really character focused, and it's actually supposed to be quite good.
Yeah, it says
I'm
it
reserving judgment.
Yeah, wait.
It says
see.
it goes against his normal film. Although to be
There's a
honest,
lot of explosions in the trailer.
Pearl
There's always
Harbor
But
2.
that's also like a trailer. It could be a marketing thing with a trailer.
You wait. The third trailer, they'll show a monster jumping off a building at the end.
True.
Just like in Batman vs Superman.
It was.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then you'll hear Optimus Prime's voice.
No, wait. I haven't seen the trailer, but does the trailer have that sound that is in every Transformers trailer? That since Transformers has been in every trailer ever created.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
that's
sure.
how
I'm pretty
it
sure they
starts
use
out.
it in I'm pretty sure it was in 12 Years a Slave. It's in everything that it doesn't need to be in. It's horrendous.
It starts out with
Period dramas.
It starts out with like a night panorama of Humvees going through the desert, and it's
Yeah.
like, Transformers 5?
I think they probably did a study and just to like see people's levels, the general public when that sound appears in a cinema, and I'm pretty sure like just guys just get erections, and it's just like Because they
Other
play it with
guys.
everything. They're just like,
Other guys.
and like, oh my god.
And then they're just sitting there like, what happened? Why do I feel this way?
Yeah, what's happened? I feel like I want to see this film. Maybe it's like a tone. You know,
Is
how,
it
like,
the
you have
aspect
those-
ratio?
You have those tones that like put teenagers off.
Yeah,
maybe it's
yeah.
like a tone that just for moviegoers. Everyone's just like, oh my god,
It's the pot noodle horn.
I want to see this. I want to see this movie.
It's like those things that you put in your garden into the ground to stop moles from getting into it. It just puts this ultrasonic sound, and it's just like,
Yeah.
this will stop boring
I guarantee
people from coming
that
to the cinema.
James Cameron will have that sound in every trailer for every one of his other 50,000 Avatar films he's going to make.
Probably.
Yeah.
Eventually, if he ever gets there.
Yeah, when he does the next one in 4D.
It's the Sam Worthington comeback tour. I'm ready.
4D, I imagine being the same thing, but they've got like a group of 20 employees at the front all holding different things to throw at you so you actually experience it. Like water pistols and releasing live rats into the cinema, whatever. 4D.
Live rats? Why do they have live rats?
Because I'm thinking of the 4D at Disney, which was Honey, We Shrunk the Audience, and they make this thing that makes you feel like rats are running past your feet.
Sounds awful.
4D! It's the future from the 90s. But yeah,
There's so much blue. Hate blue.
but Mark,
Go.
next topic.
So, sleeper hit of the spring. Last, I think it was around April, it was reported that J.J. Abrams, while he was busy with The Force Awakens, J.J. Abraham was producing a new psychological thriller called Valencia. And that this week has now been revealed as 10 Cloverfield Lane with Mary Elizabeth Winstead and John Goodman.
And as I know, she's voicing a giant monster.
Of course.
I haven't seen the trailer, but I imagine she is a giant monster. And he is voicing the tank that takes down said monster. It's like a Pixar film, but more violent.
Psychological thriller set in a bunker. I assume around the same time the Cloverfield disaster is happening.
The only thing I saw in the news thing was he says she can't go outside because something terrible has happened outside.
Yeah.
and
She's unaware of what it is.
It's the in the trailer, you know, lots happening over silence almost, so you can see tension is happening, but you don't know why. So it's interesting me a lot. I'm quite excited for that.
Especially since he's with that. It's a film that a lot of people weren't really, you know, it wasn't something that was switched on in the kind of, in a very, you know, broad public sense. But then now that he's revealed that it's mental thinking, revealing a title has had such a huge effect.
Yeah, and it's out in March.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what, 2 months?
2 months away.
Yeah. So when is it out in March?
I'm gonna say 10th. That's just off the top of my head, but
Yeah, so it's not even far off at all. It's mental, but that's the thing. It's crazy like how well planned that is, and I do like the way that the Cloverfield title is now just more it's a universe, but it's also the way he kind of films them almost covertly, which makes him sound like much more of a badass than he actually is.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, and then we breach and clear the marketing campaign. It'll be glorious.
Oh, but speaking about marketing, Deadpool. Solid
fantastic.
marketing. Yeah.
Every week there is a new poster,
A new
billboard
amazing
thing
poster.
coming out. That romantic comedy one is so good, and all the text conversations. That
the
are getting posted.
emoji one as well.
Yeah.
If there was an Oscar for best marketing,
Oh god, yeah.
the Deadpool team would get it.
I just love that one that it looks like a romantic comedy, and it's got like the autumn leaves in the background, so it looks like
It's like When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, exactly. It's like When Harry Met Sally, and then you have these
Deadpool,
all these text
a perfect
conversations with being like, it's this film about a guy who he's not ready to die, and so he finds a way so that he can stay with the woman to live on, so he can stay with the woman he loves,
Protect the woman he loves.
yeah, and then
Release Valentine's Day.
yeah, and then his girlfriend's like, well, that sounds nice. Let's go and see it. Sure, I'll do that for you. So thoughtful. And Ryan Reynolds just posted them and said, I'm gonna get so much, you know, whiplash for this.
Yeah.
So good.
And the final little thing I noticed, this is all rumors and speculation, but it's interesting. It surfaced a while ago, but now there's a bit more rumor to it that Darth Vader is going to be making some sort of an appearance in Rogue One, because James Earl Jones is. There's been talk with James Earl Jones about him coming into Star Wars. What that means, no one knows, but obviously he's the voice of Darth Vader, so.
Yeah.
That is great. I'm boxing ball.
Maybe he's like
all connected.
Maybe he's like the voice, because he's essentially you know, he's very famous in that world. Maybe he could be like the equivalent of an intergalactic sat nav voice that you can program in. So like, you know, turn left.
So, I mean, obviously, it's set between episodes 3 and 4, so it
Obviously.
makes sense.
Is
that-
it set between 3 and 4, or is it set between?
Yeah, it's the plans to.
It's-
Yeah, because I was
the
saying, which
plans-
plans is it? Is it?
It's not the second Death Star, it's the first Death
Yeah.
Star.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Bothan
So it's the dark.
It's
Spies.
not the Bothan Spies.
It's not the Bothan Spies.
Jedi.
So it's the dark times.
Yeah.
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 Dark
times.
Which is why everyone it looks so dark.
Is this the one with Mon Mothma?
No.
No.
Not the one
That's
with
six.
one. That's 6. Yeah. That's the one with the Bothan Spies.
Irv is
Many
only
Bothan Spies typeless. Oh no,
Irv
not
is
the Bothan
only
Spies.
confusing the timeline. So is that everything from the Rumark mill? I'm going to write on my phone not to make that joke.
Write it on the phone to do it
Find
all the
more
time.
wordplay with Mark's name.
Well, finally, moving on from interesting and happy movie news to slightly more sad news. Lost both David Bowie and Alan Rickman this week. Mm-hmm. Both fantastic personalities. Alan Rickman, of course, known a lot more for film, but David Bowie had his moments.
Yeah.
One thing I read early in the week, which actually made me really sad because I thought this would have been brilliant,
I know what you're going to
was
say here.
James Gunn was saying that he'd written a part for a cameo of David Bowie in Guardians 2.
Oh yeah.
And he would have fit so well in that universe.
He would have.
Especially since that's who
Nah,
the main...
he didn't work with space or nothing.
That's who the main influence in the... Like for the collector was supposed
Yeah,
it was, and you can see that it's very clear. But like even though Alan Rickman obviously has some very obvious iconic roles, there's always stuff that leaps, like obviously Labyrinth with David Bowie,
Yeah.
and then
He was great in the Prestige when he
did the
was Nikola
Prestige.
Tesla.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
Tesla.
Tesla, yeah.
Don't
Very
use
good
the
man.
machine.
Yeah.
And then and he even did the intro to the Snowman. I'm not sure if they still show that intro, but he
Okay.
used to do the introduction to the Snowman where he talked about him being the boy. You know, like the little like redhead
Yeah,
boy. It's
yeah.
him with
I
a
remember
jumper in
that.
the attic, and I don't think they show it with it anymore.
Let's
But I hope
not-
they add it back in, like with.
Yeah.
Let's not forget his greatest role, Zoolander.
Oh yeah, he's great. Dance. Is this a walk off? No, that's a great role too.
Yeah.
That is an iconic role. But yeah,
Yeah,
Alan
he will
Rickman.
be
and
missed.
also his reappearance. Oh, what Ricky Gervais thing was it?
Is this episodes or extras?
It might be extras. I think. Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Is it-
episodes of a different program.
Is Barry not in Zoolander 2 in any way? Did he film a cameo in that or anything?
I have no idea. We'll have to.
Yeah,
does that
they
mean-
haven't mentioned it, but you think they would mention that because it would also be good
his last-
publicity. It'd be good
Yeah.
publicity for it. So
I don't know if they will. I think it'd be nicer to,
leave it as a
because
cameo.
if it is just a cameo in the same respect as it was in the first one, I think it'd be nice to just kind of have that show up.
As well as that, though,
Yeah.
he would have been doing his album over the last year and a half or
Yeah.
something. So, don't know. We'll wait and see. It seems like they are bringing up a lot of old jokes from the, like a Zoolander. They've got Bagatu's got a piano T necktie tattoo, which I find very funny. But obviously,
Alan Rickman as well.
Rickman has had so many iconic roles.
Hans
In the-
Gruber.
Hans Gruber in the greatest Christmas film, Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where are my detonators, Mr. McLeod? I will count to 3. There will not be a 4. The name's Clay. Bill Clay. Mr. Takagi won't be joining us.
Script for Die Hard. Just get him to do it.
So funny. And
I love the fact that when he's dropped off the Nakatomi Plaza,
That was his real reaction.
Yeah, he was dropped a second before he was supposed to be. So his reaction of fear is
actually
real.
Yeah.
He's a method actor.
No, to be a method actor, he
I
has,
hope
he has
that's
to have
not a
done it
hostage.
intentionally. That's not method. That's being surprised. The Stanislavski method of not knowing what the hell is happening.
And if he could speak at the moment, he'd just be like, fuck you.
They just keep in the U, just so it's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had great roles. Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah. Loxley, cut up your heart with the spoon.
Snape.
Why a spoon? Because it's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more.
And then Snape, obviously,
Snape.
in the most his probably his most famous contemporary
for the
one.
younger generation. Yeah. Galaxy Quest.
So
I grab Thar's hammer. You shall be avenged.
so many great lines.
He's also got a couple of upcoming movies. So
Yeah.
he gets a send off.
He's finished directing one as well. I can't remember what it is, but that's
Yeah, because he did a little chaos, didn't he?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, both great personalities who will be greatly missed and were obviously very respected.
Yeah. My favorite story about Alan Rickman actually comes from Jason Mewes, of Jay and Silent Bob.
Was this from Dogma?
From Dogma,
yeah.
There's a story, because at the time Jason Mewes was very heavily addicted to drugs. He was going through a lot of trouble. But Kevin Smith was saying to him that you need to actually learn your lines. You need to know what you're doing in this, because we're working with real actors, referring to Alan Rickman. And not only did he learn all his lines, but he learned the entire script. He learned everyone's lines. And when Kevin Smith asked, why did you do that? He was quoted as saying, because he didn't want to piss off that Rickman dude.
That's a great story.
I'm trying to
He's the main character.
He's the Metatron.
The Metatron, the voice of God.
he's genderless.
Yeah. He's an angel, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Moving swiftly on.
Yes, all of us but Tom,
Sorry.
because he couldn't get the loadout and go and see it. Well, no, you probably had perfectly good reasons. But we saw it's Revenant. Is it The Revenant or Revenant?
The Revenant.
Okay, because
God, Craig.
You just looked at it like...
You had one job.
it's the TV series that's throwing me off. Like, you know, the Returned, Le Revenant.
Well, that's what it is, The Return.
Yeah, but obviously we don't want to spoil anything for you, Tom. So I will give you 3 questions to ask about the film, because you said you wanted to ask questions. 3 questions to ask before you can go into the other room and have Mark's biscuits.
Spoiler-free tea.
Yes, so you get 3, and then after that we will start
You
discussing
may
it.
vacate into Dirty Mike's soup kitchen,
Do you have biscuits, really?
maybe.
I'm sold, that's fine. Okay, questions. I actually didn't really have any. I just kind of came up with them in the car, if I'm honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Questions?
Well, no, firstly, right, is it really good?
Well, that's usually how we start. Is do you like it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, is it good? Is it worth me going to see it tomorrow night?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark,
Yes.
did you like it?
Yes.
What do you think of the film?
Fantastic.
You thought it was fantastic. Irv, what did you think of it?
Fantastisch.
Yep. I thought it was excellent. Best film I've seen this year.
It's quite a...
Yeah, but you thought that the best film of like 2014 was Interstellar for you, so I'm not.
Oh, such a good film.
You're in the minority now. Woo, Mark, bringing balance.
If you didn't like Interstellar, did you not like Interstellar because of the way it was made or because of the subject matter?
Neither of those. It was the actors and the characters I thought were terrible.
Lies.
So I loved the way it was filmed. I thought the music was
Okay, well, no,
was awesome.
the Revenant is so good because of the visual and audio prowess going on. The cinematography.
It's very much the director's film.
It's
Yeah.
so raw
Yeah.
And it's something
visceral,
that-
but it's
Is it
gorgeous.
trippy in any place?
Yes.
Small bits.
Because I
There-
got from the trailer. There's a lot of. I just thought it might be a little bit sort of.
There's a lot of
some-
metaphorical imagery.
There's
at
some
points.
dream sequences, like sort of, which are reminiscent of Birdman, I suppose.
that's what I was
But
looking at.
But they're much less.
the main
out there.
narrative is extremely grounded
Yeah.
in realism.
In-
No, so it's pretty much something that you have to see in a cinema.
Yes.
It's just so atmospheric and immersive.
Also, the story is pretty much exactly as the trailer lays it out. As in, like, it is the premise of it.
There's not really a story to it.
yeah,
I mean,
it's a revenge film.
It's a
though.
revenge film, yeah. It's
Exactly.
it's based on a fable. What is supposed to be true. But
It's a film with a simple motivation, but there's a lot behind it, and there's a lot of it that sets it in that time and makes it you very much think about how things were in that time.
Is this another role where DiCaprio doesn't play DiCaprio, or like? What I mean by that is
He still sounds the same as DiCaprio. He has his normal accent and his normal voice.
but
Really,
he can
to an
do he can
extent.
do certain roles. Well, I say certain roles. One role particularly, which is Django, where he just transforms in that sort of role. And in this one, he doesn't look like DiCaprio. I mean, it's difficult not to because he's got such a distinctive face.
Yeah.
But does he, like, does he actually,
if I told you he had about 10 lines in the entire film,
brilliant.
almost.
But it's one of his best performances.
He brings
Almost-
great physicality
yeah.
to it.
Almost-
That's good.
There's
That's good.
literally no dialogue for a massive section of the film.
I'm quite happy with that.
It's almost all conveyed through action and facial expression.
Yeah.
And saliva. Lots and
saliva.
lots of saliva.
Lots of
And blood.
I'm quite happy with that.
Fluids.
I think,
Yeah.
It's defined by fluids.
you know, one of the things I don't think DiCaprio does particularly well is he has the same voice in everything he does. It's very distinctive.
Well, like you said, this one's a film more about action rather than communicating, directly to.
I mean, he is thrust into this world. He's thrust into this role. I mean, one point that they just got it for me. I mean, it's spoiler free. He's floating down a river and comes out onto the bank. He's freezing, and as he's coming down this river, there's ice on the surface of this river. That's a cold river.
Yeah.
That's not acting. That's
Genuine.
Yeah.
It's
he-
method. That's
he-
method.
exactly.
Did he not say
Full
this
circle.
was one of the most
theme.
uncomfortable and harrowing things to film? He said,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like when he gets buried, they actually bury him.
Yeah.
Like it's not that's not like fake warm mud.
Yeah.
And then we were joking, like, it's like Tom Hardy was like very, generous with the amount of mud he was spraying in his face. He's like, you're only supposed to do a little bit, and it's also like,
Yeah, but as well as that, it's a film. It's a film that has so little dialogue because it's a film that's primarily about a character in isolation. A lot of the film's in isolation.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so there's no need for dialogue.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to say exactly what you're doing when you're doing it. So it's just.
Does he befriend the bear and then ride the bear to get revenge?
The twist is it's actually
It's
just
spoiler
about the bear.
free, Tom. Come on.
I know.
People
I
haven't
just
seen this.
want to know. I like animals to win.
Oh, the bear wins.
We answer the time old question: man versus the bear, and the bear wins.
Okay.
That's basically like a recurring thing, man versus nature, Where's it stack up in this film? Nature.
Nature.
Yeah,
Nature.
it looks like man takes a bit of a kick in from nature.
Yeah.
Other than global warming.
Not just animals,
Nature.
but
Yeah.
The trees are brutal.
Yeah. So you get what, that was your third question. Actually, you asked about the
I
bear.
have like 7
Yeah.
questions. I'm
Okay.
To be honest.
You may now leave for the lounge.
Okay.
As we discussed.
Come,
this.
come and get me when you're done.
Yes, we will.
Ow, my knee.
My old knee.
get out?
All right. So let's get into the nitty gritty of this film, and we all liked it.
Yeah.
It was very good. Can I start by talking about how it was shot, because there's a lot to talk about with the way this was shot. It's very much a director's film because the way that every shot is
and cinematography.
and cinematography obviously,
Yeah.
but
I mean, Emmanuel Lubezki, he's following on from Oscar wins for Gravity and Birdman, so
the camera's so free though. It's
Fantastic.
there's so few stationary shots, but the stationary shots that there are in place, for example, we'll give this spoiler warning now.
Yes.
To say, because what we're going to probably discuss will be spoilers. It's good. We've said it's good. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
spoiler free part of the
I
review.
don't see us venturing too far into spoiler territory. It'll be light spoilers, but then
Yeah.
again, there's not much to spoil.
We need to get deep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But the other than a few the few station shots, like one particular one was when the horse is dead and he puts his hand on the horse, basically giving it respect. It kept him alive.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful shot with light coming in through the trees, the valley. You hear the water trickling off. and-
Well, the shoot took 9 months because
They did it all natural light. apparently.
it is
Which is amazing.
Alejandro insisted in natural lighting, and it was all shot in chronological order as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The way that it's shot is the way the camera works so free. There's a shot right in the beginning that's awesome where it's following. I think it's following a group of them creeping through the trees. Then the camera goes perfectly. It goes vertical. It just looks straight up into the tree line, rotates 360, and then comes back down. And it's nothing that you typically get with filming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The opening shot following the river.
Yeah, but there's
then-
loads of
then
shots
the
like
tree
that.
line. It's gorgeous.
The camera's so tactile with how it moves around each scene and still captures everything happening
Yeah.
and
the
follows the
opening,
movement so perfect.
The opening scene itself is so brutal, but so well captured.
Exactly, yeah.
It's
Tonally,
really-
it set the film
yeah,
right up.
really
yeah.
intense. And you've got the spells of quiet and over, obviously this horrific battle going on in the background. But you know how the camera follows. It starts off with one guy, follows him down until he gets killed by one of the Indians, which then follows them down until he's dispatched, and it just pans through the whole battle sort of non-stop. It's stunningly put together.
It's like if you wanted to watch like Alejandro like tackle action, this is it.
Yeah.
And it's also it plays from that perspective as well, because then you go up into the horses, then you follow the horses for a bit, and then
the film that I first saw this sort of style, Children of Men.
Yeah, and
like
the big scene was like is that the one like when it's in the building and it has that long pan?
That was brilliant for the cinematography in that, and
such it's long shots
picking up on Gravity and Birdman, and it's all picking up on that sort of style, and it's fantastic. I love it.
It's
very distinctive.
The way I said it was I described it as perfect. It's perfectly suspenseful because it builds up a lot of suspense, but not in this way that causes you to divert. You're not scared of a jump. You're not scared of something startling you. But
it's more like you're invested in the stakes.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not this thing that you're expecting a scare. It's just this. It almost builds up this quiet tension in that sort of harsh environment, and it works really well because I'm usually quite a jumpy person in the cinema. Everyone knows that. I scream at everything that jumps out, and I'm one of these people that tries to look away from things, but at no point was I ever detached from the screen. And,
ever uncomfortable,
yeah, exactly. But then again, a lot of the stuff that's in this film is quite gruesome. There's a lot of real gruesome elements.
Yeah,
very raw.
Exactly. Well, that's the term you kept using as well, or if you kept saying it's a very raw film. And more ways than one. Down in the way it seems to be very close up with the filming at points, but then can pull right out at any second. And the way it's so tactile, as well as the subject matter itself, and the way it tackles gore. Everything's incredibly raw.
Especially when it's like when he gets flipped around after the bear thing, you're like, it doesn't look too bad, and then it's like, everything starts oozing out, and also great attention to detail, because one of the most favourite parts I picked up was like when he's drinking the water, you see the water pass through his neck holes and all that.
Just before he cauterizes it.
Yeah,
so good. It's another one was another.
And you go but you totally go through all this thought processes because you're like, you have to seal that by any means necessary, and then when he goes through the little kindling and then to burn it and then to burn that, it's like
using the gunpowder,
the survival aspect as well. You're getting so many stages of the process,
and you feel, and also like the duration, it sort of adds to that, the feeling, the weight of his crucible.
Exactly. As well as that, the way it was shot as well, nothing had to be perfectly centered. That's one thing I really liked. There was never, the main subject matter is in the center of the shot. Like the one scene, I found it really hard to make out, but it was because that's the intention of it. The scene where he frees the woman from the French. I couldn't tell what happened because I'm watching the center.
Everything's moving out of shot.
He's riding forward, turns back, and shoots a guy.
Yeah.
But the way it looked like was him riding forward and shooting her out of mercy. Yeah. But really, we're following him when at the side of the shot, she's escaping. Because that's the whole point. He's there, he's distracting and moving off forward while she can escape.
You as the viewer,
But then they instantly make up for that kind of confusing misdirection, which is intentional by, in the next shot, it has her. So you see her safe and then you see him safe. So you know that they've both... Even though they've gone their separate ways, you know that it's achieved something, and it makes it clear. Same with, it's one of the few films that is very, it's very aware that it's a film at a couple of points when he looks at the camera, and like directly at the camera, and as well as that, the breathing appearing on the lens of the camera,
and the blood,
the blood as well. It's that Brechtian idea of you're aware it's something to communicate. You're aware it's a film to communicate something, and it's to make you focus on the breathing, and then cutting straight into like a shot of the mist from it is like an organic transition.
All the transition scenes, all the landscapes, the build up, the frozen leaves, the running water, all that was absolutely fantastic. It's quite interesting. I was looking into it. It's filmed with a brand new camera. It's actually 6.5K camera.
Really?
Yeah. So it's brand new technology, and also the use of the setting and the light and all that. That's what makes it so crisp and so real. I mean, like I suppose you can draw comparisons to The Hateful Eight because it's the same
sort of subject matter.
Sort of, it's the American frontier.
Frontier colonial sort of time in America.
But it's, it's the winter scenes, it's the landscapes.
Yeah.
both using both using interesting recording methods.
Yeah.
Obviously, this new 6.5K
Versus the
ultra
classic
camera,
Panavision, yeah.
as opposed to the 70mm ultra Panavision.
Yeah.
I felt with the Hateful Eight, I preferred the visuals. I think that was more, to me, the Hateful Eight is more art.
Yeah.
The Revenant is more real. Like it felt real.
Well, one, I felt like the Revenant was far more contextual in terms of this man surviving in this setting.
Oh, of course.
And it being set. Well, the Hateful Eight was contextual to the filmmaking.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a piece of art. This is a survival story. It's
Yeah.
a real gritty story about
Yeah.
glass.
One's
Yeah.
the aspects in the film, one's the aspects outside. It's Brechtian and Stanislavski. Those years of doing drama finally coming back. But as well as that, the thing I was saying before about the centered shots, it's the way it caught you off guard. Like the actual final fight scene, which was done incredibly well by the camera moving around and holding that kind of tension
Yeah.
to it. You don't expect certain things to happen, like when he gets stabbed in the hand. It's on the edge of being out of shot when it happens.
Yeah, you almost don't see it happen, but you see his reaction and you know what's just
But
happened.
it catches you by surprise the way he was caught by surprise, because you expect for that to happen, there to be a cut, and you're shown it plain as day in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but when Fitzgerald, when Tom Hardy gets his fingers chopped off, that's
almost
a shock as well. I
Yeah.
mean, you see it happen, but you don't see
Yeah.
it happen.
A lot of the things are like they're unexpected in the scene as well as they are unexpected to the person receiving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only ones that are center shots of of stabbings or like things are when they're ones that they see coming.
Yeah.
It's almost like the ones that the characters don't see coming are the
Yeah.
ones that are almost out of shot or almost, at the tail end of a cut. So yeah, as far as the film, like the actual shooting of it went, it's absolutely amazing. What do you think about the performances? Obviously, there are two central
Well,
characters to this.
we already touched on Leo when we were speaking with Tom. I mean, it's a physical performance. It's acting, of course it is, but it's also a real representation of what he was
Yeah.
going through.
It's being invested in your surroundings.
Yeah. I think it's a stunning performance.
So
I mean, with Leo, everyone's always touching on, is it Oscar worthy? Will he get his Oscar?
Will
I
he
don't know.
get his little golden man?
I don't know.
Little genderless golden man.
Well, exactly. Part of me doesn't think that he cares. I think he just kind of enjoys the hype that surrounds it.
Someone will make a sad
so
face
meta.
montage.
Oh,
Someone will make
they,
a sad.
they will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's of course it's sad not to win an award for your performance, to be essentially outperformed by someone else. But I mean, I haven't seen all the films. Well, I haven't seen all the roles that are nominated, so I can't say he deserves it.
We never
But
have. That's the way the Oscars work. You've seen one film, and there are 5 still to come out.
Yeah.
That's true. But
You weren't
think
at Sundance.
Do you think it's Oscar worthy?
I think definitely due. Even though I would say this film is more relevant as best film,
Yep.
rather than
That's my fear
him
as
as
well.
best actor.
That's my fear as well.
Purely because.
There's no comedy.
Well, yeah, we'll put him in the comedic.
Where's the dick
role.
jokes?
No, because obviously the way this was filmed, but then again, stuff like that gets overlooked. Look at Boyhood. The way Boyhood was filmed was a huge endeavor and huge from the point of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one talks about Boyhood now, and it
Yeah.
very much was that tiny spark.
Well, I think this will stand the test of time visually, like you're saying, as a film. But
Yes.
yeah, Leo's performance is
But
brilliant. But
we will talk about the
Yes,
actual
well,
nomination.
at the end, yeah.
And there's also
awards
other
and nominations.
standout performances. Like you've got Donald Gleason and also like Will Poulter, who's really good.
yeah, he was
as
really good. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sort of the wee corrupted innocence who's like torn between two camps.
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's coming along quite, because he was in
Was it Maze Runner?
Maze Runner.
Maze
Yeah,
Runner,
but I'm
yeah.
thinking of We're the Millers, which is
Oh yeah.
that was really
yeah.
good. That came out of nowhere for me because
Yeah,
I
I know
didn't expect it to be good.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it, but loads of people I know have said it's really good.
It's really good, and he's fantastic in that.
The Domhnall Gleeson was the way
He's having a great year.
Yeah.
he is the best supporting actor because he does all the good supporting actor roles. But
He's the new Jai Courtney, Star Wars Ex Machina.
well, the term good.
Revenant.
Please,
Yeah.
please don't talk about Jai Courtney.
But the thing is, I felt like all those characters were there to basically add explanation or to boost the story purely
Contextually
contextually.
Of course, yeah.
To Leonardo DiCaprio's character and Tom
Give it
Hardy's
motivation.
character, between Glass and Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
And also to the time as well.
Yeah, but it felt organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At no point did you feel like these were characters being shoehorned in,
Yeah.
and they worked really well. Those two were the only ones. To be honest, those four characters are the only ones throughout the film that stood out, because the other characters, to be honest, only have tiny parts in the film as far as like main roles, because his wife and his son only appear very sparingly.
Yeah.
But
And it's also like the fluid moral points they have as well. You know,
exactly.
when they're willing to maybe kill him or put him out of his misery, and then they don't, and then it's like, oh, do we kill him now, or you know, and even with the burial, and then
Yeah.
also like withholding information, and now Fitzgerald manipulates all of them.
Yeah.
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
The chief
For
endgame,
for his own.
and he's willing to kill like was it Bridger?
Bridger,
His
yeah,
name,
the
and he's
creator, yeah.
just willing to kill the kid just then and there.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
he's like, oh, save your life again, boy.
Yeah. But yeah, well, that's the only thing is, and I say that this is a really, as far as everyone said, like the sympathetic characters were like the most sympathetic characters. A lot of people said were Brendan Gleeson's character. Not Brendan Gleeson, sorry. Domhnall Gleeson,
Yeah.
son of Brendan. Domhnall Gleeson and
Will Porter.
Will Porter. They were the sympathetic ones, the ones
Yes.
that really made you feel
Yeah.
something for them. But I remember there was one line, and I said, I understand this is completely unfair because it's out with the context. But there was a point where I thought, I don't feel any sympathy for Gleason's character, because when they're in the bar, he says something like, "Oh well, we'll bring." It's something along the lines of, "Well, we'll shove some, culture or some." It's basically saying the idea, because this film does have these little moments, even though it's a story of revenge. It does have these little moments that really touch on
Cultural touchstones.
what the native
colonial.
Yeah, what it actually did to the people,
Colonial invasion,
Yeah,
yeah.
to the people of America, and it's really horrible when you really think about it. You see those little things, and they're not the bad guys, even though they are at points. It does a good job of not making you think these people are wrong.
Yeah.
Or these,
It's all very grey.
Yeah, and one of his things is when he says that, I was like, oh, what a horrible person. But then you can't think that way because the film is set in the context.
Yeah.
And as far as they're culturally aware,
They're savages there to
they're
destroy them. Yeah.
It's not something that is an awareness that we have now. So it's very much in hindsight.
Yeah.
So I feel it's unfair of me to make that kind of criticism.
Yeah.
But
And also, like,
their
the-
performances did arouse your sympathy so
Yeah.
much. Those two
And
particularly.
also there was different they highlight like the different factions, or the tribes and the Native Americans,
the
like
warring tribes, the Pawnee,
like the Shayu and the Pawnee,
yeah, but it was
and the French.
yeah.
bloody French.
The guy who played his friend as well, for having such a minimal part, had quite a big impression.
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
he became friends
Bison
with.
Man.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. The guy that got hung. Yeah, that was
by the
was
French.
By the
That was
French.
that was savage. Yeah,
That was shocking.
Tom Hardy I thought he did as well.
Oh, I love Tom,
He's doing
yeah.
that thing where he changes his voice ridiculously.
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Did you not? Mark's giving a facial expression, shows he's unsure.
I'm unsure. It's the same attitude I had towards him in Mad Max. It's just
I think it's almost a caricature.
He can't do accents, so
I think he does accents quite well.
he doesn't. He just disguises it. I mean, it's
under a mumble.
Yeah, it's so gruff that you can't tell what he's doing. I mean, compare that to Legend when he's in his heart. He's in London.
Yeah.
Sure, that's supposed to be fucking
He does the
sure
same.
attack.
He does the
Yeah, but he expresses that role extremely well through his vocal performance. I mean, he's great in this. It's similar to Leo. It's very physical. It's very.
He always has the weight. I always say he always has the weight of the character.
Exactly.
He walks very
Yeah,
different as
yeah.
each
Like,
character.
it's extremely well acted, but it's just again the same as like Mad Max was extremely well acted, but
Yeah.
Mad Max is silent. He's the road warrior. He's supposed to be a silent protagonist. So like it plays into it, but I don't know. It's getting old for me.
See, I don't know. I thought he was really good in it, but again, he is kind of caricature at times.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But
That's not necessarily a good thing.
no. But I thought it worked in the film. I can
Also
understand
liked how he wasn't just a bad guy. He had a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
history.
yeah, he had his own
warped
motivations,
ideology.
Yeah,
and,
they gave you enough for you to really.
and also
get
like
behind it.
how he was perceiving in his own head how he was right. It was like there wasn't no reeds or no. And
Yeah,
that sort of
exactly.
thing.
Colorful
I
top
saved,
knot.
yeah, I saved your life twice, boy. And
But
it's like,
yeah, how do you feel about the pacing, general story pacing of it?
I thought it was great. I didn't feel didn't feel as long as it was. I mean, I wanted to see more of
the world.
the world,
that they were in,
yeah.
I see. I've heard people
It's
criticize
always
the
like
pacing,
the middle
but-
parts, I think.
Yeah, I've heard people criticize the middle section. I didn't have that criticism because the issue was you had to believe that he was in a horrible state to the point where his foot was hanging off at the start. But by the end of the film,
flesh was all
he had to.
rotting,
Yeah, by the end of the film, you had to believe he could put weight on that
Yeah,
leg
he
again
could
and
limp
walk.
home.
And that film perfectly did that because of the sheer amount of day-night cycles and everything it went through. And it really conveyed the time well.
Yeah.
So I think for that reason, it was paced really well. I can understand people having that issue because it is essentially nap time, Colonial Edition, where it's like, we're going to watch Leo go to sleep again. What's he going to do in Dreamy Town? And like, that's what keeps happening. It's like, we're going to watch him go to sleep for the 5th time.
Yeah.
Let's see him trip
Oh,
balls.
he's hugging a tree.
Leo.
Oh.
But no, it was...
That'd be great if it cut to that and he was like hugging the bear again.
Not again.
the bear was hugging him.
Yeah.
But do you hug the bear or does the bear hug you?
Well, the
Pre-bear
bear
yourself.
definitely
It
hugged
hugs
him.
you, yeah. You don't have a choice. But I thought the pacing was fine because
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
it was justified.
Yeah.
I felt like it was justified. But again, I can understand why people maybe didn't agree with it.
Yeah,
Don't watch
Plus,
it if you're tired.
it's definitely not to everyone's taste. It's that kind of, it's
Very
that kind of
artsy.
arty film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the arc of the story? Like I thought it had a perfectly good intro. Like as in, did the intro set up the tone and story really well?
Oh yeah,
And did
the opening.
did the conclusion properly conclude it in a way you would have wanted? Because I felt both worked really well. The middle section's the part that people could debate.
It was all fine. I'm sad Dom Hall had to die, but
Yeah, I know, but that's what happens with a sympathetic character.
that was the other thing
Yeah,
that I was
sacrificial lamb.
really confused. Why did he scalp him?
It would be a red herring, maybe. Or,
Yeah, just to appear, just once the body was found, could have been the Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I didn't notice that. Did he actually scalp him?
He scalped
I didn't
him.
see him scalp him. No, I thought the start did an amazing. That whole conflict at the start set up the tone perfectly well for what was to come.
Yeah.
It just, and the shots establishing it were amazing. And I thought the concluding conflict was excellent because I said to Irv, he says a really literal line at the end. Tom Hardy says, what was it? He says,
If you kill me, I ain't going to bring the boy
he says,
back.
he said, you've come all this way for your revenge.
Yeah.
But it won't bring your boy back. And I was like, that's a very literal line to say, but then the actual
So
conclusion
good.
after
Yeah.
that has nothing said and is
Just-
very
Especially
poetically
it's
done.
such a
Send-
stinger line as well.
Yeah.
Just leave with him.
But again, it's really obvious, and usually that's quite bad writing. But in
it
this
was just
context,
perfect.
It was-
in this
it was-
context, it works because the conclusion to it is wordless.
Yeah.
The tribe and him have nothing said between them, but everything's
Yeah.
communicated
Yeah.
after he's communicated everything so clearly.
So, on that note, to draw this discussion to a conclusion, we shall use our patented,
Our flawless rating
flawless
system.
patented rating system.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even a rating system. That's why it works.
The crook rank,
Were you whelmed?
using Herb's last name.
Craig,
Yeah.
were you whelmed, overwhelmed, or underwhelmed?
So you've gone from highest to low.
No, I started in the middle.
I am at the top. I am overwhelmed with emotion.
Early.
Overwhelmed. And I've got to make another quick comment just about the sound. Like the sound was
Oh, the
absolutely
sound-
amazing.
the sound
and
was
immersive.
stunning.
Yeah.
And also, I was in a
Not
perfect place.
overpowering when it didn't.
I
when it was
was
necessary.
I was directly under like aircon,
Uh-huh.
so like for the opening shot, just like I'm using my hands. Why am I using my hands? But like when it's like all the river and just the totally immersive sound, and then the aircon, I was like, oh my god, I'm actually in this.
The word
4D.
picture.
Yeah.
The word picture Irv is painting with his hand is beautiful.
Yeah, I was like in a giant box.
But yes, I would agree. I was overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, but we're gonna have to start giving some bad reviews, guys, because we're giving too many good ones. We're already batting 100% in our terms. we need to be really harsh on the next few films.
yeah.
Well, there's the next ones are.
I'm gonna go see Ride Along too.
Exactly.
Dirty Grandpa.
All right, so let's get on to the final hot topic.
Hot topic.
To close, we're gonna keep saying it. It's a tradition.
Just
It's a tradition.
very
Not
well.
really a tradition.
It's
You're
a tradition.
forcing it to a new tradition.
Lower their mics, Irvin.
We'll just shout.
Okay, so Mark,
Finally, for short discussion, it'd be interesting to talk about the Golden Globe awards and the awards that actually went out, and compare that, because it is awards season, to the Oscar nominations which came out midweek, and what we think about where it's all going.
Also BAFTAs if we feel necessary, but
Yeah.
The BAFTAs are
your sense of pride in your country, Mark.
no, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean.
But award season.
Yeah.
Yay.
Nobody fights over a BAFTA.
What was it Irv defined it as? That when you hear about films and see awards for the best films of 2015 that haven't come out in 2016.
Bastards.
Okay, but Mark, do you have any noteworthy ones you want to mention?
There's a couple of things. One of the things I found interesting about the nominations.
Comedy, Martian comedy.
I'll get to that. There was just the future of TV series, really, in the way that the main American streaming services of Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu, between them, had 14 nominations for shows and actors and things like that, whereas ABC, one of the biggest network TV channels, had 3, and NBC, the channel which hosted the Golden Globes, had none. So that's speaking volumes to the quality of drama and television shows that these on-demand services are producing. I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, obviously that's Netflix is gaining power. I mentioned that last week.
The Bachelor got no noms.
It does. Well, that's the thing. We're even seeing the way that it's kind of treated services like Netflix and Amazon completely changing. They're competing with each other as well, especially Amazon, who started off as Prime. Remember when Prime was just a delivery service, essentially, just to get packages quicker? But the issue is they're adding more, which I've mentioned previously.
Yeah, it's the same comment you had last week.
No, but on top of that, it's the quality of shows they're putting out and the way that they're making deals. They're making completely different deals. And arrangements with companies all the time. We're getting exclusive rights where they're the only ones releasing a show.
Well, that's the only way it works.
They're getting,
they fund it. They get it on their platform.
But they're also getting ones where, for example, Once Upon a Time, it's one of their most watched shows, even though it's not one of their shows. But they've made a deal to release it at the same time, week by week, on Netflix, because so many people watch. Well,
that was the same with Breaking Bad, series 4 and 5 in the UK. It was released on Netflix simultaneously with ABC in the UK, in the US, sorry.
And the same with films, like going forward, more and more films are going to be coming
Ridiculous
through.
6.
So let's not talk about the Ridiculous 6. We covered that last week.
Yeah, like I've mentioned before, Crouching Tiger sequel, things like that. So they're being much more progressive. What are these other traditional, channels doing any differently other than moving things around slots?
Well, to be honest, I think it's more of a shift in sort of the way we watch
viewer
TV.
Habits.
Exactly. I mean,
Binging.
We now have, that's exactly.
You don't have to adapt your schedule.
Exactly. It's not on the network's schedule, it's your schedule.
Yeah. To a certain extent as well, I think a lot of shows work better when you actually binge watch them.
Yeah.
Like they do. I mean, a lot of shows are designed. Well, a lot of shows are designed to follow on from each other.
Yeah.
Especially now, things like the Daredevil series, stuff like that. Each episode is a continuation, and when you watch it next week over,
There's going to be guff and then catch up, and
Yeah, exactly. And like I think that makes a huge difference. I mean, I recently finished watching the first season of Gotham, and I really enjoyed it. And I want to watch.
Everyone is shaking their heads except for Tom.
I don't care. I enjoyed it. But then so season 2 started now, and I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to watch it in bits.
Yeah.
I want to watch a whole chunk.
Yeah.
I'm the same with Game of Thrones. I enjoy Game of Thrones a lot more when I watch it all together.
I watch Game of Thrones every 2 weeks because I watch 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, because I forget who people are or if they're dead or not.
So much happens as well.
But that's because you're forced to in a way because it's still on network television.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not on Netflix.
And also everyone bloody talks about it.
Yeah.
You've
got to get, because of Facebook it might spoil.
Yeah.
But another one with the Golden Globes that's because you've mentioned Netflix and stuff. I was really surprised there was nothing for Fisk in Daredevil, D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
And nothing for Jessica Jones with either David Tennant or Kristen Ritter. Because I thought, because they're usually Golden Globes go for things that are quite popular, as well as they do have this habit of going same way with Lady Gaga. A lot of people are saying if your fame does take a factor with the Golden Globes.
I mean, Christian Slater won best actor for Mr. Robot.
Best supporting,
Best supporting, which makes me want to watch it now.
Yeah.
Because I used to like Christian Slater.
Yeah.
I think also as well, something completely off topic. I think we should probably we've spoken about obviously the whole Alan Rickman and all that sort of stuff. A great piece of news is that Uwe Boll has decided to stop making films.
Wait, this is the third time he said this though?
Yeah, but apparently he's actually released a statement saying that he's.
Oh yeah, didn't he do a self-funded film which just got so much?
Have you not
hate?
seen the YouTube?
Yeah,
where he basically says "fuck Hollywood."
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen it.
And
It's
kill
terrible.
the rich.
Yeah,
I mean, wow. Wow. I think he's the only person on the planet that doesn't think he sucks.
Well, yeah, because remember, he used to challenge people to boxing matches if they disagreed with him. And he used to be a professional.
Oh,
he used to be
yeah,
a semi-professional
yeah,
boxer.
yeah.
But
No.
yeah, apparently he's stopping. Apparently, right? Not apparently. If you look it up you can see it on the internet. He's stopping making movies to become a restaurant owner.
That's a natural transition.
fair enough.
But he will not be getting any Golden Globes.
I worry about the quality of his food, though. I've got to be
Yeah,
honest.
I'm going to stay away from that. That sounds scary.
Yeah,
I'll wait to see- I'll wait to see
the
what-
menu will look good, but the food that he actually serves won't represent what's actually on the menu.
I'll wait to see
Yeah.
what Empire gives it.
Quickly jumping back to the
Sorry,
Golden
yeah.
Globes was the other thing that I wanted to discuss was I don't know if you know, but the way the Golden Globes divide their best films and actresses nominations is between drama and comedy. And I feel that sort of the studios backing it, like big name studios and big named films, kind of shoehorn things into these categories that
For easy wins.
shoehorn things into the comedy because it's not got it's not that it's not got a chance, but for a win over
Yeah.
something else in drama. And the thing that stood out to me was The Martian and Matt Damon, both who won their respective categories. Martian's not a comedy. I mean,
No. Well, it's got comedic.
I laughed at bits of it, but it's not a comedy. I mean,
Yeah.
I laughed at bits of Shawshank Redemption, but
Yeah.
it's not a comedy.
You laugh at bits of Dark Knight.
Exactly.
That pencil joke.
Yeah, you laugh at,
So-
you can laugh at bits of anything. I'm pretty sure there are funny moments in most horror movies these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the remake of Friday the 13th is one of the funniest films I've ever seen, but it's not a comedy because it's terrible.
I mean, the problem with this, it's not that it's a cheeky win, but I mean the fact that it takes away from actual comedies, which
Yeah.
like
That's what
because
the
there's-
comedy things are
Yeah.
made for.
Yeah,
the comedy.
exactly. And because there's the nomination for Spy, which
Jason Statham's best performance.
but I thought it was a fantastic comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's a much better comedy than The Martian is. But because The Martian's this big budget, I mean, you could see Ridley Scott's face when
Yeah.
it won. It's like, I do not agree with this, but
Yeah.
thank you. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to think about
it
that.
also, as well, it missells The Martian because anyone who hasn't seen it. I mean,
Exactly.
To a certain
Yeah.
extent- to a certain extent, the awards.
I want a good feel-good romp.
yeah, but to a certain extent, the awards, to a huge extent, they then
They
influence.
help colour it, yeah.
Yeah, they then influence what people watch in the future. The Blu-ray will say, winner of
Yeah.
Award-winning,
Golden
yeah.
Globes, and so you buy Martian thinking, I'm going to get a cool like sort of space comedy. Probably wanting like Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy
2,
Quest 2.
they're going to watch and go, that's not a comedy. Like, what
Yeah,
am I watching?
exactly.
Yeah.
This is depressing.
Yeah, this is it's parts of it are really
Drama.
depressing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very strange.
Remember that bit where he questioned his own mortality?
The bit where he ran out of food. Oh god, it gets me every time.
So, as we know, Leonardo DiCaprio won the Golden Globe for Best Actor
Golden,
In a drama.
Golden Boy.
in a drama,
In a drama.
not in a comedy.
Oh, that means so good.
Well, I mean, my point is, I think Matt Damon gave a better performance.
Yeah, but then, I'm not sure.
But was he funny though?
On top of this, he has obviously been nominated for the Oscar, and apparently, I'm going to say this now because
Matt Damon.
the great.
Sorry, Matt Damon won the Golden Globe for Best Comedy.
Yes,
Has he been nominated for?
best actor for the Oscar. Yeah,
Okay, but not in a comedy role.
there isn't.
There isn't
don't,
that,
the,
yeah.
That's
the,
fine.
The
That's
Academy
good.
don't distinguish.
But I'm going to bring up something that, according to my Facebook, is the greatest social injustice ever to exist. Stop trying to give water and food to third world countries because Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't have an Oscar yet. Apparently, it's a huge thing. Everyone, I know. I remember people saying Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't have an Oscar. It's like, my God, his life must be terrible. Isn't he like married to a model, makes tons of money, does what he loves, and is revered for it? But his life isn't the
Has
same
worked
without
with-
a golden man.
Yeah, and
which
people.
will end up in his toilet.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. He'll bring it out at dinner parties and say, "Look what I finally won." That's about it.
Yeah.
So he'll use it to like probably hold papers on his desk.
It's going to be like people who get married when they already live together, and you ask them, "How's it changed?" Not much, but I've got a ring now. It's going to be
Yeah, that's true.
not much, but I have a trophy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, guys, I am the best actor. This golden man says it.
Yeah,
I got mauled by a bear. I made you believe it.
I crawled out the dirt, and it was convincing. But like, I mean, even if he doesn't win an Oscar like ever in his entire actual acting career, he'll probably win an Oscar later on, which is the sort of
The posthumous, yeah.
the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Lifetime,
Yeah.
At the same time,
It's
though,
basically, we're sorry we never gave you an Oscar.
Yeah.
at the same
an
time,
Oscar.
do you think this will be one of those sort of legacy awards where, for example, Scorsese got, because everyone said he's been long overdue, The Return of the King is not
Long overdue Oscar.
No, but like people said that
We're sorry there've been better directors
he should-
for many years. Here's an Oscar.
No, but that's what I mean. They give it to people when they feel like they may have missed
I know,
out. For
yeah.
Same with like
Scorsese has missed out.
Return of the King was not the best Lord of the Rings, but it was in celebration of a trilogy. That's the
Fellowship,
thing.
lads.
Yeah, because Fellowship's the best one. Of course, everyone knows that. But it was in celebration of having a successful trilogy and
Yeah.
in celebration of the whole thing.
14
But do you
Oscars, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Is this what is going to happen? Even if he isn't.
No,
So
no,
best.
not at all. Like, there's going to be the role where he is. I mean, he's a fantastic actor. He's possibly my favorite actor. Every role he does, I think, is good and deserving. Just every year, there's been someone better. It's just the way it is.
I just don't want to see riots in the street and people throwing clean drinking water on other people. It's just.
Because what performances has he been snubbed for?
He was
Is it like
snubbed
Wolf of
for
Wall
The Wolf of
Django.
Wall Street.
Django. Well, no, The Wolf of Wall Street. That was because the Academy didn't like it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
hated that film.
Yeah.
Or Django.
But was he? That was best supporting for that one, was it?
I think so. It's still an Oscar.
He's had a few, but none I think to
But
myself
that's
like, okay.
supporting. Nobody wants support.
So was he nominated for Best Supporting as well as Waltz?
Not sure.
Or can you do that?
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can nominate more than one.
Was he nominated for Departed?
Yes, Departed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
There's quite a few that he has been
He's
nominated.
probably
Yeah.
nominated for a lot of. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of his.
Man in Iron Mask. Solid.
The
That
Aviator.
double play.
I think the Aviator
Shutter
might have,
Island.
actually. Shutter Island.
Oh, Inception might have got it.
No.
No. That's too mainstream.
Aviator, though, I think he was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still,
well,
he's had a lot of nominations.
was he nominated
Yeah.
for J. Edgar as well?
Don't know. Don't think so.
I've not seen it.
But is there any other award-related stuff that you would like to discuss with this one?
I'm surprised the amount that Mad Max is nominated for. Not that I disagree. I mean,
It's just not a typically Oscar film. Yeah.
It's not the sort of thing you'd see as Best Picture. I don't think it'll win, but
Yeah.
it's nice to see that it's in there.
What else is nominated for Best Picture?
The Big Short,
Spotlight, Room.
Revenant.
and
Martian.
And
I
Hateful
don't
Eight.
think Hateful Eight isn't.
No.
Is it?
No.
Don't
even though
think
Hateful,
Martian
how
is.
did Hateful Eight get any nominations? I'm just trying to think.
It's got soundtrack.
Because that was one that was the release, the
not got best-
initial
best
release on
original
Christmas. The initial release on Christmas
right,
was so that
yeah.
it could get
Tarantino
into
usually
nomination.
gets those.
Yeah.
Tarantino usually gets screenplay nominations.
Yeah.
Well, Mark did say he thought that was his best written
It's
script.
I think it's his best written film.
Oh,
Best
yeah, that would-
Picture.
yeah.
as far as like
Big
it's
Short,
dialogue.
Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn,
Bridge of Spies, yeah.
Mad Max, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight.
Okay.
Still, if you see so in this next week
I
coming
think
up,
Bridge
we
of
have
Spies, it comes out, is it February or March for us?
What?
Or is it end of January? Bridge of Spies.
I've seen it. It's already out.
Yeah, it's been
Is it
gone.
already?
Bridge of Spies has been gone.
Yep,
It was like
it's been out
November or
already.
something.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Leo is up against Fassbender for Steve Jobs,
That was very
Eddie
good.
Redmayne and Danish Girl, Matt
That'll
Damon
be-
The Martian, and Bryan Cranston for Trumbo, which we also
I've seen at least half of those.
haven't-
I've seen
I
all the
haven't-
ones I can see.
I haven't even seen the film yet, but probably Redmayne will probably get it again.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Let's be honest. I
The
mean,
Danish Girl.
that's because like his performances are pretty incredible.
yeah. Well, I think Matt Damon gave a fantastic performance in The Martian.
Yeah, he did. But that's the thing. Like last year, it was Redmayne because he transformed. And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
And again, he's done
the same thing.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not sure if they might recognise that, if he's done it before.
Yeah.
You know.
He's a good actor, but I
Yeah.
mean, is
Yeah.
this performance? It's not that he can do this. I mean, is this performance worthy of the?
Yeah.
Anyway, we can talk about this for ages and ages. We can chat about it more when they actually are awarded.
Yeah.
Yep. But I was going to say,
real mad hype.
I was going to say, in the next coming week, what's coming out? We have Creed. Well, Creed's out at this. Creed is actually out at this point.
And this is for the UK folks.
Same with Room. That's out.
Yeah.
We have
Next week's big release will be The Big Short.
The Big Short. Yep, that will be the big one of next week. Also, Fifth Wave
and Ride Along too.
If those
point,
do
Dirty
so,
Grandpa.
It really upsets me the type of films that qualify for a 2 at the end of them for actually having a sequel.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I think Dirty Grandpa is actually a midweek release.
Sneaky cheeky.
But so there's at least 2 or 3 on the list in the next week that I'm interested in seeing.
I'm interested in seeing The Big Short because
I've heard a lot of good things about Creed as well.
Well, Creed is supposed to be very good, and I do love Rocky, but I'm interested in The Big Short because it's so highly tipped.
Yeah.
And also, you don't recognize a lot of people like first glance, like
Gosling doesn't. Yeah.
Also, before
he doesn't look that pretty.
Before we close, Mark, there is a segment we will be introducing in for only a couple of minutes.
That's
that you
your point.
wanted to do.
There's an interesting idea. Considering Craig has only seen the greatest of the Tarantino films
Until last week, I had only seen Death Proof, which was a tour de force in the world of cinema.
So the idea is to get Craig to watch chronologically every Tarantino film, one a week, and then to give us his 2 cents on it in a 2-minute short every week.
Yeah, you've told me that there's not much violence, and I'm totally against salty language, and you told me there'd be none of that. So I am very much looking forward to these feel-good romps.
Can I alter the plan slightly or make a suggestion? Craig doesn't really sleep much, right? So why don't we get him to watch all Tarantino films chronologically, one after the other, and then get him straight on the podcast, and in his mad, crazy rantings, see if he can pick out what he thought of each film.
They'll all merge together into one Tarantino
he'll
mess.
Just be this just a pale sort of neurotic,
That actually sounds amazing.
I loved Pulp Bastards Unchained.
Exactly. In fact, that's what we can call the episode.
It was my favourite Western period drama.
We just
Samurai.
We just need to rename the podcast that Pulp Bastards Unchained.
That's actually a really good name.
Yeah.
I know. I have no idea what it would be about, but yeah.
We'll be viewing Reservoir Dogs in anticipation of next week.
Yeah.
And it's only 90 minutes, which is a blessing.
Yeah, Jesus.
That was long in the 90s, 80s sort of time, and nowadays everything's like, if it's not 3 hours, it's not, it's not worthy.
Yeah.
That's actually a decent topic. That's something to talk about next week as well. Is why do we think films are becoming longer?
Yeah,
because they're more expensive. But
don't answer it now.
I know. Well, I've just answered it.
You haven't answered it. You've given a theory.
Yeah, but no, that is a good closing point.
Yes.
I thank all you gents again.
Thank you,
especially Mark. You can thank us for taking up your kitchen.